All right, we're at the quarterfinal stage now, and it's looking very, very exciting. For me, I'm just gonna say that because the four favorites, that it looked like it was gonna, the four favorites I had after at least the first match day, I definitely had a clear three in France, England, and Spain coming into the tournament, and then after I saw Argentina's first game, I was like, yeah, I'm putting them alongside. It could be those four in the semi-finals. So I'm already looking forward to this. But of course, we got to get past the quarterfinals, and we've seen a number of upsets and close calls in this tournament already. So let's break down our thoughts ahead of the quarterfinals. And the first one is going to be France against Morocco. All right. So France beat Paraguay 1-0. You know, um, those guys were, I don't know what word I was using. Thugs. What word to use other than thugs? Barbarians. They were, they were, they were not trying to play any football in that game. But France, uh, came through the 1-0 win in the end, and Morocco beat Canada 3-0 in the end. Right? What are your thoughts about that quarterfinal?
Yeah, I think France will win. Obviously, it'll be a competitive game. Morocco are a very good team, but France, they just have too much talent in their team, man. Like honestly, Morocco will have a lot more of the ball than people expect. Because they do have a good midfield. They have good ball carriers. Just a lot of players who are good in possession. Whereas France, they're probably going to play the same. Tchouaméni and Rabiot. Tchouaméni is available, right?
Yeah, Chimeni's available.
Yeah, probably
I
play the
I
same.
believe so. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
They'll probably play the same Tchouaméni Rabiot pairing, which isn't the best on the ball, but off the ball they are very solid. Not the worst on the ball, but off the ball they are very solid.
You would prefer Tchouameni and Kone?
Yeah, of course. Tchouaméni Kone, Tchouaméni Zaemri, Zaemri Kone. Any combination without Rabiot, I'd prefer.
Kind of wild. Zamri hasn't touched the pitch yet, has he? I don't think. And then
It hasn't,
Kante.
yeah.
Has Kante? I'm not sure. Maybe Kante for a
No,
little
I don't
bit.
think.
I don't think
Maybe a
I
little
haven't.
bit, but
Yeah.
no, not
Yeah,
really.
man. Yeah.
They're winning, so I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah.
It's the safe option. But this should still be good enough even with that midfield, because that front four, I think they should bring in Doué. They should bring him back in for Barcola.
Interesting you say that. I'm seeing reports that he may make that change. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Barcola, good player, don't get it twisted, but Doué, I just think is better. He helps the midfield a bit more as well. Uh and yeah, man, I just think he's a lot more well rounded than Barcola. Barcola will be good off the bench, when maybe they're winning. But yeah, Due should be starting in my opinion, because when you have Olise and Due, uh, that also allows Dembele to have more freedom in the attack, along with Mbappe, and those four are connecting. Oh, it's four of the best attackers in world football. So yeah, man, it doesn't really get much better than that.
I agree with your sentiment. I think Morocco, you know, they don't have Abde, who got injured just before the tournament started, and they've got to the quarterfinals without having a real fast, direct attacker, right? And the whole team is set up for an in possession game, controlling games, and it's worked. The game where I think they might have had some trouble would have been against Netherlands if Netherlands had tried to take them on and also keep possession and stuff. But yeah, every team up to now, they've been able to dominate. I think France, I agree. Morocco might have a lot of possession, but I think that's going to play right into France's hands because if France can, get the ball not too deep, somewhere, pressing, but not necessarily pressing high, getting the ball off their midfielders at times. They're very good midfielders, Buadi, El Anaoui. but they're not, Pedri and Vitinha in terms of the pressure resistance. They can be um got at. They can lose the ball at times, and I think if France do that and hit them on the counter attack, I think they're gonna have opportunities. And I actually think it might end up being a relatively comfortable game for France. Um, I wouldn't be surprised especially if they get a goal in the first half, if Morocco just kind of look out of ideas and France are able to capitalize in the second half and score a couple more. So I'm gonna say a comfortable win for France against Morocco, and that would see them up against the winner of Spain and Belgium, which will be on Friday. That's an interesting one. Spain didn't look the best. Well, they haven't looked. Well, they looked good against Austria, I'd say, but they didn't look at their best against Portugal. Quite slow, as they have been in other games in this tournament. It looks like Yamal's the only one that gives them that injection of pace, that dribbling, that excitement. But they got the job done. Marino, of course, with the late winner. And Belgium, maybe to a lot of people's surprise, I'll say to my own surprise, I wasn't expecting them to thrash USA. I thought that'd be a hard fought game where maybe I'd have USA as favourites. And yeah, they knocked out Senegal and USA in the last 2 rounds. Two impressive victories, no matter how no matter how you slice it. Uh, do you give them a chance in that game? What do you see being this? How do you see Spain and Belgium going?
Um, you know what? Yeah, obviously going into the knockout stages, the midfield was Tielemans, De Bruyne, Van Aken. That midfield, I didn't give them any chance of doing anything at this tournament. And as you saw, they went 2-0 down against Senegal, and then they had to make changes to that midfield, and they eventually won that game. They have now altered their midfield. The last game they played Onana, Raskin, and Tielemans midfield, and it's just so much more balanced. They actually have runners in there. Obviously, unfortunately, Onana got a serious injury in the last game, so he's going to be out the rest of the tournament, and that's a big blow for them. I think if they had Onana there, they could have frustrated Spain, maybe nicked a lucky equalizer or goal against them. But without Onana, it's going to be tough. He's a energetic player. He can get about the pitch. He's not too bad. But him, Tielemans, I don't think that'll be enough to contest with that Spanish midfield. I think that Spanish midfield will be too strong for Belgium, and I think Spain will win quite.
Do you expect them to play Lukaku? I mean, he hasn't been starting during this tournament, but he's looked good coming on. He scored some goals.
I think he'll come off the bench again. De Ketelaere did score twice in the last game, so I think he's kind of earned his way into the next game as well.
Fair enough. What about Doku? That's an interesting one, right?
That is an interesting one. So they've been playing. Last game they played Kabakio and Trossard on the wings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Doku will start. I think they'll play the same wing. Just based off how a lot of coaches think, a lot of managers think. They won 4-1, so then they're gonna try to keep as much of the team the same.
Yeah. Do you agree with that decision? Would you start Doku in this game? I mean,
yeah, I'll definitely start Doku probably over Trossard.
That's a big call because Trossard's been good in this tournament, right? He's come up
a good player.
and yeah.
Trossard's a good player. I mean, if I'm not playing Trossard number 10, I don't think they need to against Spain. I think the pace of Likabaki and Doku will definitely help them, kind of even the playing field against Spain, because they can definitely get at Spain, the fullbacks. They're not the quickest, in Cucurella and Pedro Porro. But I think those are the areas where Belgium could have the most threat, and they could do damage to Spain on the wings. So if they had Likabaki and Doku constantly getting at those fullbacks, they could get something out of that. But with Trossard there, I think he's got, it's going to be a big ask with him because they're going to be starting deep a lot, so he's going to have to be running with the ball a lot. So yeah, that's why I would play Doku over Trossard.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. I agree with that. I think if I could just see Doku really giving Poro a tough time in that 1v1 battle if they were to come up against each other. But maybe off the bench could be a weapon as well. I think for Spain, as always, Yamal's gonna be the key story. How successful Belgium are at stopping him and isolating him out wide because you know I saw that he's made the most successful take-ons in the tournament already, having only played, I think, he's played 3.5 games, compared to some other players. And it's necessary, and it's still not bearing fruit in terms of, the real big chances. He's creating a lot of chances by himself, he does amazing things. The expectations are so high on him already, even though he's 18 years old. But I think that will be the story of whether Belgium can hang in this game. And I think if it's the Kuiper left back, as it has been recently, right? And then who was left centre back? Michele? Michele, I think it was playing left centre back. I think that there is a recipe for disaster against Yamal. And I think it will get exposed in this game. I'm expecting him to have a lot of success if they don't make any changes, but maybe they do. Maybe they spring a surprise and change formation. That wouldn't shock me, going 5 at the back or something. Not sure that would actually help them over 90 minutes, but maybe that's the move, especially with Vanana getting injured. But yeah, either way, I see Spain winning this. I think it'll be a close game. I just don't see Spain blowing any semi-decent teams away, like scoring a bunch of goals. But I could see a 2-0 hard-fought victory. That's what I would see. Yeah. And you're gone. 3-1 Spain. Okay. Interesting.